Welcome to the Amazing Truth Podcast, a podcast where we focus on real issues and have real talk, and as always, provide a biblical perspective. We hope that you will be blessed as you listen.
Hello and welcome to the Amazing Truth Podcast. This is the Amazing Truth Minute.
This is the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Stitcher. Like us on Facebook at the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Real issues, real talk.
Without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. That is according to Hebrews 11, verse 6. It's safe to say that most of us would like to grow in faith. After all, the Bible says without faith, it's impossible to please God. It's notable that the disciples asked Jesus to increase our faith. The disciples weren't the only ones who petitioned Jesus for more faith. A father in desperate need of healing of a sick son said to Jesus, "Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief." As we approach God, we must believe that not only that he exists, but he will reward those who diligently seek him. Knowing God rewards those who earnestly seek him can serve as a motivation to persevere in our pursuit of God. The scriptures reveal that Jesus is the perfecter of faith. So like the disciples and the father with the sick son, we can approach Jesus with confidence and ask him to increase our faith.
This is the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Stitcher. Like us on Facebook at the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Real issues, real talk.
All right, we are back. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Amazing Truth Podcast. Once again, for yet another week, Ezra is missing in action. But it's safe to say that we are not missing him. But Ezra, it's wherever you are, we are glad that you're not here. But anyway, we are back again with another interesting episode about international students and the challenges. It's kind of like a diary of what international students go through. And last week we are here with Joji, Violet, and Joven. Joven decided to sit out today, and he sent a friend, so we'll get to know him as well. But we talked about their individual journeys and how they came to the States and why what they're studying, and we also talked about how different it was coming to the States versus studying in Africa. So I'll not tell you more. I'll let you go and listen wherever you get your podcasts, so you can listen to that episode. But today last week was more of kind of the rosy part of it, So today I want us to go into the challenges, because I know we all face challenges, right? When I was an international student in India, and I went through a lot, and there was a lot of mental health things that cropped up. There was a lot of financial struggles. There was a lot of, adjusting to the food, adjusting to there are different challenges. So today I want us to focus on you guys and some of those challenges. And last week we mentioned mental health. We talked about some of the isolation, and we only scratched the surface. But I'll let them give us their names. George and Violet, just give us their names, and then Mr. Mwaso here will tell us a little bit about himself, what he's studying, and then we'll go from there.
My name is Violet Mumbo, and that's it.
My name is George Manyange, student at the University of Minnesota. That's it.
All right, Mr. Mwaso, tell us just a little bit about your name, what are you studying, and how long have you been at the U, I believe? Yep.
My name is Mwaso. I am from Malawi, and I'm studying my PhD in applied economics at the University of Minnesota.
Okay, right. Man, these PhD students, they're very mellow.
They're very chill.
right? They're very chill. Is it because it's too much in their
There's
brains?
too much education.
They say permanent head damage. That's what they used to call it. But yeah, well, we are lucky to have you here, Mwaso, from Malawi, right?
Yes.
Violet is from Kenya.
Kenya.
Georgie is from Kenya.
Kenya,
Yeah.
Georgie is studying mass communication, journalism and mass communication.
Yeah.
You're also studying the same, right?
No, I'm studying computer,
Computer science. Yeah, but you did. You have a degree,
have a
in
degree.
journalism
Yes,
and
I
mass
do.
communication from
Kenya.
Nairobi, Kenya. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. That's out the way. Now let's jump into this, right? What are some of the, let's just list, what are some of the challenges personally you have faced as an international student? I know you talked about mental health. How was that? And what exactly did you go through? If you're comfortable sharing.
Yes. I'm going to say this. I come from a family that is very, how do I say it? I have never stayed away from my parents for a very long time. And my mother is the kind of parent that even when I would go to the city back to my house, she would be sending food. She would like, you tell her, I have it. She would send food. She would just pop up. She's the kind of mother who is very involved.
Yeah.
And one time, and in my mother says that all my children, I don't care where you work, what you do, but December every child is in my house. December I want to see all my children. You can lie to me when you're outside, but when you come and I see you, I'll know if you're okay or not.
Yeah.
So being in that setup, growing in that setup, you always knew somebody has got your back. And then like the kind of setup in Kenya, and even I stayed in Rongai, like you would never go a day without somebody coming and just saying, "Hey, Violet, what you doing? What's up, man?" You'd even be chilling your friends will come and knock. There's always somebody to bother you.
Yeah.
Even if you're single, even if you're new in a place, if you don't know anyone, a hawker will come. A hawker will come and tell you, I'm selling socks, buy, and they will try to convince you to buy for like 1 hour. That's a 1 hour of conversation.
Right.
We take these things for granted until you come here where everybody's all about their business. And I remember the first week was it's okay because I was like, I was so excited. I was like, I'm in America now. I want experience. I want to feel this place. I just want to. But that time that you realize that when everybody goes back to work, everybody's working, they're working, they're going to school, everybody's chasing money to try and pay bills. People live from bill to bill. So they need to go and work to get the bill done. And you remain probably in the house because you're still new. You can't talk to anyone. There's nobody, there's nothing. That's when it starts to kick in. And actually, I never knew what depression was. I never knew what all these things were really like. I would just hear about them. But, for many times you're always like, that can't be me until it's you.
Right.
And I'm so glad that I was able to recognize from the very beginning that this thing is there, and I was recognizing that my patterns were changing. I used to eat, I used to have a particular pattern of eating. I used to have a particular pattern of things I used to do because I used to go play back at home. I used to go meet my friends in the weekends. I used to go play at a football game. Would go even for concerts. There was life. There was a circle of life. And then here there's not. All those things are taken away from. All those things cannot happen for one reason or the other. You don't have extra money for fun. Like even if it's a concert, you don't know who is there in that concert. Where are you going then? And even if you know the person who is at concert, you can't afford it.
Right.
Very like if the entrance alone is $50, and $50 can sustain you for food for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. But after I realized I was just in bed all the time. The bed was the solution. You're always sleeping. There's nothing else to do apart from my assignments and maybe listening to music. It's only the bed. And then it goes from that, and then you come and realize later on you don't have the energy for anything anymore. Even if somebody tells you, let's go and do something, you don't have the energy for that. And before all that, I started watching videos now on depression and all those things. And that's when I realized, like, man, I have the symptoms. I have all the signs. And from that point, I just decided, like, I have to do something about it because my mother is not here to save me. There's nobody who can save me. I have to save myself. And I think that's the reason. And I think the time I started reaching out to people I knew. And I'm glad that's the time even George reached out to me, and if I knew you and I knew that you were a safe person, I would reach out for no reason. Just reach out, just talk. Somebody would tell me like, let's go to the lake. Yes, I'm going. Let's go. As in, you would ask me, let's go anywhere. I'm going with you. I don't care whether you're leaving me in the car. I'm just going outside.
Right. Wow.
Yep. So that's my story, and that's why I have so much passion for
Yeah.
mental health.
Right.
Because
Okay.
we don't even know about it. We are never told about it. And I think even being a young African woman, it's like you're always taught to, like, some things that you're always taught, like, vumilia kaa hii ni vitu mama yako alipitia, watu wenu walipitia. Your people went through all these things. Your grandmother went through it, all the women, and they were taught to, like, keep quiet and just relax in pain. And I don't think that is the way I want to do it.
Right.
And I realize that we have to go away from this kind of thinking.
So you're saying that you realized that something was wrong and you took the steps to do it. And
Yes,
you
and
were
that is what I think I did that, started December until now, and I'm glad it's
Good.
going well.
Wow.
Because I was staying alone and I moved in with roommates.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, listen to this. Please don't stay in America alone. It doesn't matter how much money you earn or who you are. Stay with somebody, especially in America. Stay with somebody. Somebody you trust, somebody who treats you good, somebody you feel safe with, but stay with somebody. This is a very lonely country.
Right.
It's the loneliest part I've ever been in this earth. Everybody is all about their business. Because I will tell you, like, even that madman on the streets in Nairobi has somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Those watch guards that are standing on the road there, they will ask him, why are you sleeping here? You've slept here for long. Go and sleep at the other section.
So it's important that interaction, where Africa is, for those that don't come from Africa, Africa is a very social place.
Yes.
When you go to the market, you'll see people sitting down and interacting over a newspaper,
Yep.
current news, that. And I came to find out that when you come to America, small talk is a big deal.
Exactly.
It's a big deal. It's like an event.
Yep.
We are doing small talk. Let's talk about the weather. They talk about it. It's something different. But back home, even in Europe, Europe, Africa, we socialize. We like to be in each other's business. Like here,
Yes.
you in Kenya, you'll be sitting watching on Saturday afternoon, enjoying,
Premier League
glass
match.
of milk, Premier League match, watching Ezra's Arsenal lose, and someone will knock at your door and like, okay, hey, that was but here it's different. So we're gonna dig deep into that, and I'm glad that you're doing well, and you are able to find the help, and you're continuing to find that help,
Yes.
and you're able to speak for it. Because we always say here at the Amazing Truth Podcast, your story is your story, but then someone will hear your story and get help.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mwaso. What are some of the challenges, and if you can piggyback on mental health, whatever it is, what have you personally, what have you experienced as a challenge studying here?
I think the biggest challenge is, I would like to say, unrealistic academic expectations from the professors. It's like, well, I've always prided myself in enjoying my weekends. Like my weekend is my weekend. My time is my time.
Yeah.
And so now here, I don't know if it is something that is unique to graduate students only, but I work, so I have to prepare for. I'm a teaching assistant.
Yeah.
I have to prepare for my my sessions with the students. That takes time. Of course, I am given a certain number of hours per week that I should do so.
Right.
It's like, yeah, but then eventually it's always more than, you always have to do more than the prescribed hours. And then there are these expectations from classes. So you find that you're given us an assignment maybe on a Thursday and it's due on Monday morning, meaning that you're supposed to go through it over the weekend. And if you've got 2 or 3 more subjects that require you silently, you're not told to work over the weekend, but it's like a silent agreement that you don't have any time that belongs to you.
Yeah. Wow.
And that itself is like, I've always like I have always tried to go around it, like make sure that I claim my time. If possible, I always ask for an extension from the professors so that I avoid working over the weekend, because that's the only thing that keeps me insane, to know that I also have something that belongs to me, like my own time. But sometimes that can be difficult.
Right.
So, yeah, it can be difficult. And having come from a background whereby you were always expected to do best in your class, like to always have the best grades and so forth. I mean, and you have, like at a PhD level, the people that you have in your class, they are always competitive people. And so it's like they are also forcing you to be like,
competitive.
Yeah, it's like it's like some sort of a force that keeps you to always be insanely competitive.
Wow.
You see, so now that's what has been challenging me, like not to have time for yourself and not to think that there's something more beyond school.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
That's the thing that has been challenging, and it can lead to like mental stress.
Yeah. You know, I did not get it. I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate not to have studied here, because I think just because from what you're saying is it's assignment after assignment, and you're expected to pay bills, right? And I could be wrong about this, but I think the assignments take precedence from what you needed to do socially, right?
Yeah.
So you're expected to submit an assignment midnight on a Monday morning, right? Mm-hmm. And then you do have these other things that you need to do as well.
I have a class.
For your sanity, yeah.
Sorry
No, go ahead.
I have a class that I'm supposed to submit an assignment on Sunday, 6 p.m.
Wow.
You see?
Yeah.
And then you don't have only one, you have 4 subjects that you're taking.
Yeah.
And every subject is with an assignment of its own.
Exactly.
You see?
Can I add something on that?
Yes, please.
That means you have 4 classes. Mm-hmm. All these 4 classes need you. And majority of the time, majority of them have the deadline in the weekend. I have one that is Saturday, 11:59, one that is Sunday, and one that is Monday morning, 10 a.m. That means
Saturday night you're
you have
studying.
an assignment. That
Sunday
is due.
during the day you
have another one that is due at
And
the
then
end of
Monday
Sunday.
morning when you
And
wake
Monday
up.
morning there's a math class of mine that is due at 10 a.m. So meaning you don't have your weekend.
and during
that
the
means
week you have classes.
Yes,
right?
and remember, I'm doing math. You could be doing math, statistics, or calculus. Any of those. Those things need help. That's why we have the math center in school. That's why we have these centers for help. They don't work during the weekend. If you're stuck in something, you're stuck the whole weekend. You are stuck in stress. You're stuck in the stress of not submitting. You're stuck in the stress of like, where am I gonna get help? You're stuck. You're literally stuck. Mm-hmm. So meaning, even whether you do it or not, their whole weekend is not a good one. It's a stressful weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where is Ezra? These usually reflect. Wow, that is. I'm just cringing just listening to that. Because then, if you find yourself in a terrible mental state, and you don't have the social, the interactions you need to have. You don't go to church if you have no religious being. You don't go out to meet your friends. Then, on top of what you're going through mentally, it just gets you down even further. Plus, you're probably just new to the States.
Yep.
You haven't made friends. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And nobody. And then to add on to that is that everybody is busy. Mm-hmm. You can find people who are willing to help and listen and do, but everybody is running to something. If they leave their houses, they're running to something. So even getting that audience is so hard.
Challenging.
George, what about you?
For me, I agree with Maso, and the fact that for me back home, like I used to know, like it's my weekend, like I'm off on weekends. Like if it's Monday to Friday, even if I have assignments, I know how I'll sort them so that I can have my free weekend.
Yeah.
Interact with friends, go watch a Premier League match, the banter, the football banters. If I was going to work, if I was scheduled for, if it was my shift during the weekend, I knew what I wanted to do. Like,
Yep.
but here, when I came here, like you have assignments which I do. Like I've been submitting projects over this semester I'm taking 15 credits. Last semester I took 17 credits, but the 17 credits were much more easier compared to these 15 credits because these 15 credits actually they're making me to be much more busier than the 17 credits I did last semester. Even I usually ask myself like, I had many credits last semester, 2 more credits, but right now I'm doing 2 less credits. I'm doing 15, but I'm busier. Like every time it's an assignment. Sometimes when I don't see an assignment on the to-do list, I'm like, okay, at least it's like a breather.
Wow.
And I have to go to work. So this is my off weekend. Like I usually have one Saturday. Like I'm totally off. I'm not doing anything. I've not picked shifts. I usually tell myself like this is the Saturday where I'm going to just relax, watch my documentaries, do my own stuff. At least just be by my own, because all other weekend, sorry, either at work,
Or
doing assignments, or doing assignments. And in the journalism sector, it's like you have large chunks of books you have to read. Maybe it's an assignment you have to write about something, so you have to go through it. And being a student who has been used to a certain education curriculum back home, coming to meet a certain curriculum of education back here, which requires you to be on your books all the time, assignments.
Let me say something. The books are fat.
Yep.
They are so fat.
Many pages. Like someone sends you, like I usually have a discussion post. I have to post it on Monday before Tuesday class. Then that lecturer posts a discussion. He wants 250 words maximum. But whatever he will send to you, it's like 100-page PDF.
For you
He
to-
wants you to read and paraphrase it within 250 words. So at times I actually look at it, I'm like, really? This lecturer is serious that he wants to see this assignment by Tuesday morning when he comes to class. You're supposed to have submitted it because he will mark the discussion post it before he comes to class. So when he's coming to class, he's just releasing the grades before the lesson ends.
So I don't want to feel sorry for you guys. I don't want to.
it's not a pity party.
No, in terms of assignments and books, that one I will.
It's what we signed up
Yeah.
It's not a pity party. We get them done.
But things like you get them done, right? Obviously, you do that, and I think I don't want to advise, but I would say training your mind to
Get used to something.
and getting it done, but also remembering that hey, you have to take care of yourself, right? If you have to take, and we'll talk about self-care. But if you have to take time and say, this weekend I'm not scheduling anything, and if Kenna calls me for a podcast, I'm not coming because I have to take care of myself.
Yes.
That is important for you guys. So, isolation. How do you guys deal with that? I mean, you say you solved it by having roommates, right? So
I solved it that I had to solve it. I knew if I did not solve it, I don't know if I would. I do. You always like, oh my God. We came here with a hope of something better. It's human nature to want something better for yourself. You cannot beat yourself up for that.
Yeah.
You want something better for yourself. We are here to get trained, to get education, to get better jobs, so that even when we go back to our countries, we can serve them as whole people.
Right.
We don't need to go back broken.
Yep.
Yes? We need to go back better.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, home is home. We will go back.
You guys are planning to go back?
Of course.
Of course.
Giving
Home
back
is
to the
home.
community.
Yes.
So if anything, an opportunity arises, you will not stay?
Why?
Let me tell you, the idea is to make yourself better. If I feel like I have achieved enough, to me, like if I am very comfortable and I can take care of my family and my issues comfortably, and I get maybe a job back in my country that can serve me and give me good money, I can take it. Because to me, we should change the definition of success. To me, success is when everybody around me is actually happy.
Right.
Yep.
That is success to me. And I know my parents are literally, oh my God, my child. If they don't come here, I'm going to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about something fun. The accent. Do you have accent stories?
I think I have 1,000 stories.
How was it? Did you have to? I'll tell you. Someone told me that, don't try to change how you speak.
Exactly.
Don't force yourself.
Don't force yourself, because if someone wants to understand you,
He or she will understand you.
they'll do that. So I've learned not to change, but it's hard though. When sorry, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Okay, cabbage, right? Like that's what I say.
I think my biggest
So
challenge
what-
is
yeah.
like, for me, is like I'm used to mixing. When I'm talking about something and my emotions are touched, I will go into Swahili direct.
Right.
That's how I do it. Like sometimes I was in class this time and this teacher said something. I was like, what kwa nini aje?
Like how,
Aje.
yeah.
And then the teacher was like, what's again? Nauliza ni aje. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, okay. And then you try now, like, I'm saying, like, okay, I'm just asking how. Like, this has been my challenge, because I get hard quite clearly. And even I've been told many times, my teacher was like, you're from Kenya? Africa? Which school did you go to? Because they're like, oh, wow, you have very good English.
Yeah,
Because, and like, even my friends, they have heavy accent. I have friends from Rwanda who, like, in Rwanda, English came into the curriculum in 2012.
Yeah.
So many of them don't know English. So
French.
it's French and it's so broken. So I'm like, I have like 3 Rwanda friends that when they see me, they're like, oh, they've seen a small God. They're so happy. Like, they're like, Violet, come and tell this person what I meant. This person wasn't getting me, because I can get them so clearly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I did a bit of
Right,
French
yeah.
and they know a bit of Swahili. So I can get them so well. But you find them, even they will be discussing something with somebody, they're like, that's not the way. So they will call me, where are you? Come. And they don't understand me.
What's your accent story, Mwaso?
Yeah, I wanted to buy a computer. I wanted to ask the price of a computer.
Okay, I want you to get on the mic. So
I wanted to ask the price of a computer.
Yeah.
In our bookstore,
Yeah.
the U of M bookstore. Yeah.
and then what?
I kept on saying, I don't know if I say computer, do you know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah.
Well, I kept on saying, the computer, laptop. It was like, what? And then I had to go with my fingers, like, to show, like, I'm typing. So, oh, you mean a laptop? See, so, but I know I talk to other people. I talk to my professors, my friends.
Yeah.
They hear me very well.
Yeah.
So it's not about. I know that it's not about me. I know it can like try to put you down in terms of your confidence, but I think people who do that, who don't really get your accent quickly, there are people who have not experienced diversity.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So it's not our fault. It's actually maybe they're just not exposed to different accents.
And it's a beautiful thing. Let me tell you, when you don't change, they all adapt.
Yep.
You do not change. The thing with us is that sometimes people feel the need to change. But when you adjust yourself and you speak with your accent, they will all adapt. In like one semester, they will not be asking you again. Like, come again. No, they will adapt it because it will be something that their ear is now getting accustomed to.
Yeah.
So, the confidence thing is like, these people, I've noticed like sometimes when they have people who have heavy accents, they want to shy away from answering questions and saying things because for some reason they feel I'm not like the rest. That is a uniqueness that you can use.
It
People
is,
don't
embracing
even
it.
know.
Yeah, embracing that
it
you-
is a very good
you're
thing.
right, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Embracing your diversity and embracing your different accent, your language, because it's a beautiful thing. I mean, we are taught. If someone told me, "Do not lose your culture," way back before I came, I said, "No, I want to be American. I want to do this." But then when you come here and you hear the kids you're raising, probably in the next 10 years, they won't know what Africa is.
They won't know anything about
So
themselves.
then you have to really intentionally keep your culture and preserve
yes,
it. Yeah.
yes. And also, it's like you are, okay, let's say you are having trouble speaking, but you are managing to communicate, and you're communicating with people who only know one language, English.
Yeah.
Right? And you know English, and you know the languages that you're speaking in Africa.
Yeah.
So you're actually better off.
Right. Because
You can speak more, yeah.
that's true. I was watching at YouTube. There's this guy who goes to different like countries that people don't go to.
This African guy?
Afghanistan. No, he's an Australian guy, New Zealand guy. So he went to Nigeria, and he was right in the slums, and it was so beautiful. Guys who are homeless, they are swimming in wastewater, but they speak amazing English. I'm like, yeah, we do speak good English, and even that we are taught English at a very great
Young
level,
age.
very young age, and we come out with this beautiful, heavy,
Yes.
and British
English,
British
yes.
English. Yeah. So yeah, we do. So, do you have an accent story, my brother?
I have like 1,000.
Give us one. Give us
I
one.
remember last semester, the first when I joined the U, I was like in the first class. So I used to go for a class in St. Paul because the U has Twin Cities, the main, and St. Paul one of the branches. Like though it's Twin Cities, so
Yeah.
I used to do Youth Global Perspective. That was the class because I'm doing minor in global studies. So I came to that class. We had Kenyans over there, but the Kenyans who came quite earlier than me when they came when they're young kids. So they've already adapted to the accent. So when I was talking, some people, even the teacher would be like, pardon? Do you know it came to a time I was like, I'm not going to answer any question. Even if I know the answer, I just keep quiet. Because if I talk and I'm sitting
At the
at
back.
the back, it will cause people will be looking at me like, pardon. So she will try come to me. Sometimes I'm telling her something. Maybe I'm just explaining it to her the way I know it in the normal British English, but she's not getting it. If it was another teacher, maybe back home, she could be getting it like what I'm saying. So it became a challenge. I was like, even some of my friends back in that class knew that sometimes I was pissed off. Like I was like, okay, you guys, you talk. I'll just sit down, do my assignments. I know the answer, but I'm not going to say it because if I say it,
It gives you
It's
attention.
embarrassing.
pardon,
Yeah, you get
pardon, attention. And the same thing I've experienced it with other classes. Like when you're talking to someone, like you're asking someone like, what course are you pursuing? You're saying in British English, you'll say
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But for them, it'll be like, pardon me? Like, did you say course? I'm like, what's course? Then someone say like, I tell him like, major. Then be like, oh, okay, what major are you pursuing? I'm like, oh, okay, I'm doing something. So the British English and American English is very different. For us back home, we are used to the British English. That's what we speak.
Yeah.
And for them, they're used to the American English. I can't blame them. But what I would like them to know is that we got used to their English.
Their
I
English,
understand it.
yeah.
So let them also get used to our English so that they can also understand us so that we can communicate easily. But for the good thing with me, the friends that I've met here outside people who came from Africa, I have amazing friends, some from Eritrea, Namibia, who actually have the American accents, and you can't even know they're from Africa. Whenever I talk to them, they've never told me like pardon. They got it straight away from the first place. So when we are communicating, we communicate easily because whatever I'll say and whatever they will say, we understand. Both of us.
So, you guys asked me before we started that when did you start the podcast, and I said 2020. You were not here 2020.
Yeah.
You were here 2020, right?
I was here in August 2020.
2020. You were, of course. you
Yeah,
were
I was here.
There was, the George Floyd.
Yeah, protests.
Yeah, and what caused that? What caused that? See it? It was discrimination. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And racism. Have you guys experienced that?
Yeah, let me start.
Okay.
I've experienced it in the same class that I used to have an issue with the teacher. And I remember right now my advisor is a very good guy, Mr. Alexander Hines. He's a very good guy. I like him a lot because when you're being given advisors, I think the person who gave me that advice, like the person who chose for me, like selected for me to have that advice, I think he or she did a very good thing for me because he's someone who understands me. So when we usually have our own advisor student meetings, like sometimes he will call you to ask you like, how's the school, how's the semester going on, because he checks on your grades. Whatever is being posted, he sees it from his end. So sometimes if he sees something is wrong somewhere, he will shoot you a text and ask you, what have you done poorly in this assignment and stuff. So I told him like, there's this teacher at the university, like one day she called me at her office. Let me just say a 1 minute story. I'd like done an assignment. It was an essay writing for that course. So I had already done it. It was like a course book you're reading, then you answer. So I sort of like cited like one or two things from the book and straight away put them on my paper. Though I forgot to write like the citation where I got my citation from.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, okay, this is what you have been reading in class. She knows this is what I've not got it from another book. I got it from the same book that we are reading in class. So she called me at the office. She told me like, I can't mark this paper because I see that you've written my two sentences from the book as an introduction. And she was like, I can't mark this paper. Then she was asking me like, okay, first of all, give me a description of you as a person. So I told him what I'm doing. Sorry, I told her what I'm doing. And she was like, okay. I told her like, I'm from Nairobi. I came through this and this channel. I did this and this in the university. Doing this and this currently at the U. And actually I was the oldest person, I think so, in that class because the rest people, I think there's the same, she asked like, how many people completed high school last year? Like the whole class, the hands were up, and I was like, okay, me completed in 2016, so I'm much older than these guys who are in this class. But no one knew, so I just used to play it down. I'm doing my stuff, I'm out. So I think when I said Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm from, okay, maybe she thought maybe I'm from here, it didn't go well with her. From that day, I used to have an issue with my papers. Whatever I write, if some people got 5 out of 5, she'll give me a 3.5. And she'll just look for some petty mistakes. Sometimes you don't be like, can I see your paper? You start comparing what another student did and what you did. And you're far much more better like, man, this paper, my paper actually makes more sense than what these other people wrote. I only missed one class because she used to give us an opportunity to, like, she used to tell us, like, you can only miss 3 classes in my semester, in the whole semester. More than 3, I count you out. You're not my student. So I only missed one class. And actually, I didn't know because it was the first lesson. I didn't know. I thought that Monday was off, that you're not going to class. So she texted me, she emailed me. She told me like, oh, you missed the class and stuff. And actually, that class was like taking attendance and putting it as your grade. So you know those teachers who take your attendance, like they are grading it. So as a student, in the same group, they used to miss classes many times. More than 5 times. But they scored a better grade than me at the end. For me, who attended all classes.
And only missed one.
And only missed one class. So the thing which made me more sad was the last day. It was an assignment for 20 marks. Like paraphrasing what you did the whole semester. You're supposed to put your notes, whatever you've written. So I combined them, I stapled them, I put them in a file, and I attached my short notes, whatever she said. The whole class, everyone scored 20 out of 20. The mean was 19. Guess what she gave me? She gave me a 15 out of 20.
Wow.
I emailed her like, why are you giving me 15 out of 20 and I've done whatever you asked us to do? Then when she was giving us like the feedback to give us the review, I gave her everything. I was against her. I disagreed with everything. Even I wrote in my comments like, be fair when awarding your grades. Because I felt like she was favoring other type of students. She was not favoring me. I don't need a favor.
Right.
But whatever is mine, give it to me.
Yes.
Don't deny me whatever is mine
Yeah.
at the expense of you. You want to make me suffer or look like I'm a fool. I don't know what to do. So on the last review, because at the U usually give a review of how the semester was. I wrote it like I didn't like the class because of this and this. And when my advisor talked to me, I told my advisor knew her. I told him, like, he asked me, like, how about that class? I told him what happened, and he was so surprised. Like, he didn't expect it to go that way. And at the end of it, I got a B plane. I could have gotten an A mine in that class because the last two papers, she just failed me because she wanted to do so.
So wow.
So I told myself, if I'm taking a class which she's teaching,
You're not.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I'll tell my advisor, you know why? Because the same thing, I
gonna
think
happen.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep. So for me, I faced it. And she's the only one who did it to me because the rest, I've never done it because the rest are diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give you what belongs to you.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
And because of that, that's why before I pick any class, I go check all the teachers and the reviews.
Can you see the
Yes, in our
reviews,
school
right?
we can do that. You can see a teacher's review and see if like 3 students write something negative about you, there's something wrong. There's something wrong somewhere. 3 people can't be mad. So you just, as in, I think in our school you have a choice. You have a choice. And personally, as Violet, I would go for diverse teachers. It's a choice for me.
Yeah, someone who's open-minded.
If not I'm open-minded, I will look at your name. Your name can give me a clue of where you come from. It's easier. If I see an African name, I'm going to that class. That's how, it's a thing. You feel
Right,
safer with
yeah.
your own kind.
Yeah, and you have to make some
Like
make a decision that makes
I got to the school and I saw a name, Nyamagwa. Nyamagwa was somebody in this computer science department. I saw it and I emailed him to say hi. Just hi. How are you doing today, sir?
I don't know if I should say this, but I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's a good guy.
he's a very good guy. And he was he was so happy that I did that. I don't think people do that all the time. He was so happy I did that. I just said hi, said like, oh, I'm here, I'm doing this. And he helped me to pick my classes. So I feel like not any other person would have done that for me. But just because I think he also saw my name was Kwamboka. I was like, okay. And he even scheduled a meeting with me just to see me, talk to me, and then helped
you met
me
him?
Yes,
Okay.
virtually.
Right.
And helped me to pick the classes for this spring semester.
Awesome. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
I don't have any.
That's fine. That you don't have to make something up.
Any
But
racist
what
story,
support can you give this nice people here? If in the event that they go through that, what advice would you give them? Or anybody?
If it were me and I came across like a situation where, like what George went through, or the best, well, I think it's you just need to know that you are here, you belong here, right? You are here and you deserve to be here.
Yeah.
So whatever someone else wants to do, like try to bring you down because of how she feels about you, or because of what perception she has about you, that's just, it's not supposed to affect you. Though. It does affect. It's wrong. It's unjust, but like it's not supposed to get to you. I mean, if you can prepare yourself, like you meet horrible people in life.
Everyone.
And we see it like it happened to George Floyd, and then it happened to this person who was shot by a lady who was thinking she had a taser in her hands.
You're right, yeah.
You know? And then it happened like, was it last week? In Michigan?
Yeah.
There are people who are just terrible, right? So you come across those kind of situations. I know eventually I'll come across a situation where I'll feel that I've been done wrong because maybe I'm from Africa or because I'm black. I know that is bound to happen eventually because this country has got a history of that. Like it started with the times of slavery, and then there was the time of civil rights, and when you are walking the streets, it's like difficult to believe that in this country there were signs that said whites only and so forth.
Right.
And there are some people who still have, unfortunately, because not everyone can be progressive. there are some people who still have, maybe not intentionally, or maybe not, like maybe you meet someone who has been harboring those kind of thoughts in their lives, and then eventually they show you a bad sign. So it can happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to prepare myself mentally for that.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah. I went to school in a country where they didn't hide it. No.
Showed it to you.
Oh yeah, they call you a monkey in your face. They throw stones at you. Right? See how you hit a dog?
Yeah.
They throw stones at you. But to them, it was more of ignorance and lack of exposure to know that someone that's black is not an animal.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, you're sitting in a bus going somewhere. People literally some get off the bus because you're there.
Yep.
Your seat goes empty. I'm like, when my seat was empty, okay, yeah, I'll sleep. More space for me, you know. It's just situations where you're not sad. But again, it's them. It's not you.
Yeah,
how
it's
you
them have a
happens.
problem.
How
yeah.
you respond. That's all.
So
Actually, see such situations even at the school when you're taking a bus, then people are standing, your seat is empty. Some other seats, maybe they have white people, they're
go
already
there,
filled.
right?
But you black people, not even from Africa, just black.
Yeah.
As long as you're black,
Right.
you just find people are just standing, and your seat is empty, and
Yes.
they won't come to sit near you.
Take your bag.
But for me, I usually
It's-
just place it there.
Right.
Thank you.
It's space for your bag, right?
Yeah.
Right. So embrace it, be positive, and you know that hopefully there's resources to eliminate that can address some of those things in your schools.
Yeah, sure.
I hope that.
No, the biggest resource for this problem is education.
Right.
Is education. Hate, you're never born a hateful person. You're never born a bad person. All these things are taught. If your parents would just like sipendi wa Kikuyu, I don't like you're probably gonna grow up not liking wa Kikuyu. That's I've used an example of back at home.
Yeah.
Like hate is taught.
Right.
All these things are taught. The real medicine for all these things is education.
Good. Yeah.
Remove ignorance from people. Because that person who is standing and that can't see sometimes I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. Because it's already ingrained in you. It's like the way you were told, don't go outside in the snow, you will fall. And then it's already you're not going outside because you will fall. They were told that this ABCD is true. ABCD people are not good.
Right.
Try and put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't blame them. But the thing is this, finding an avenue to educate people is what will change everything.
And if that person realizes that, oh yeah, maybe someone that doesn't look like me is not a thief, he's not a thug, he's not this. Once they realize that, once I realize, we have our stereotypes.
Yeah.
But it's not about,
Yeah,
we have our stereotypes about people that don't look like us.
Yeah.
So once I know that this person, whatever I've heard, whatever I've read, whatever I've seen is not actually true, I need to educate myself on those, that different cultures. So
Yes.
let's do that. Now we gotta wrap up. So I have two questions for you guys as we wrap up. This will be your final thoughts. All right. What keeps you going every day? Well, so we'll start with you. What keeps you going every day?
Well, I came here to prove myself that I can do this. That's what keeps me going, and also the support that I have from my family. Yeah, and when I'm down, my wife is always there to bring me up. Okay. My kids, they're always they make me see the world in different, brighter colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what keeps me on.
Okay. Are they here with you or are they back in?
My wife is here, but my kids are in
Okay.
Malawi.
Shout out to them for the support. What keeps you going, Joji? I call him Joji because what keeps you going?
For me, the fact that my career, I love my career, and we have talked about it even the first time we met. Remember when we met at the office?
Yeah.
And the fact that I actually sit down, sometimes watch TV, and I'm like, wow, one day I'll be on that screen, maybe trying to explain it to the viewer who's watching it around the world or who's watching the session, and the fact that I need to fulfill my dream of becoming one of the best journalists in the world. I'm like, okay, I need to push. I need to push that button. I need to keep on going, grind, grind. Whatever challenges you go through, that's part of life because it's always it's always not things will not go the way you like.
Right.
Things will always go sometimes in other, like the opposite of what you expected. The bumpy roads, rough, smooth roads, that's life.
Right.
You have to overcome that in order for you to become that person you wanted to be. Because even if you listen to these famous people around the world, when they are talking, they'll tell you that we faced challenges
Right.
and we are able to conquer those challenges. We overcame it, and that's why we are here trying to advise you, talk to you, to become much more better than us. So for me, for the fact that I'm doing a career which I really like, and I'm ready to do anything for it, because I've had issues where my mom is telling me like, that career will never help you. I'm like, okay, you continue saying whatever you're saying, but for me, I know.
Yeah.
And for anyone who tells me like that career will not help you and he or she's doing something else, a career, I usually respond this way, like, the God who gave you that job is the God who will give me the same job that I've been dreaming of since I was a kid. So whatever you have, you're given by God. He'll also give me the
Right.
same thing that I want. So why are you telling me like whatever I'm doing is bad, whatever you're doing is right? No, you have your own path. I have my own path. I think everyone has his or her own destination.
Right.
But the thing is, as long as you keep your focused, determined, resilient, you know what you're supposed to do, then nothing is impossible. I usually say it like hard work and discipline is equal to success, given that prayer is kept constant.
Okay.
That's my take. Anytime, any day. Hard work and discipline is equal to success, given that prayer is kept constant.
All right. Well, let's see how you come back from that. What
So,
keeps you going, and your final thoughts?
what keeps me going is, I would say, my people and my purpose. Because I was brought up by a man who believes in impacting lives. And my father would really brought us, we're like three children. I'm the firstborn. I have a sister, then I have a brother who came later. And my father always treated us, there's no gender in my father's house. Everybody does everything. I grew up washing the car, so which is very rare. And just knowing that they supported my dreams and they have never, everything I've wanted to do, they've always supported me, which is I don't see in many families back at home. Most of my friends, female friends, don't have a choice. They're like, we are not doing that for you. We have finished, we have done Form 4. You are done with Form 4. What else do you want from us? But the fact that my parents decided to go further than that and still support me to this day, I believe I owe them something. And by that, I need to succeed and help them. And I know there's being in America, there's a village somewhere in Kenya that is saying our daughter is in America.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they'll see this video.
And I'm right now. I have a million mothers, a million fathers, and I have a grandfathers. Everybody is my grandfather.
And they're all rooting for you.
Everybody's rooting for me. So, and I believe I can be a change maker for them, because there are simple problems that we face, that people face back at home, that I can easily be changed by somebody who is in America.
Yeah.
Because I see like small bills, like hospital bills, you can help them. The old people, try help them get somebody who is changing their diet. There's something you can do. So long as you're doing it, there's something. So I am doing this for my people and my family. And I believe that I just want to impact lives at the end of the day. So, and I know just by being here and following my dream, there's somebody out there, a woman, a lady, a child, who's looking at me and is like, wow, I want to be like her. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Amazing. Wow. We could go on and go on and go on. You guys have the best. I've learned a lot. Some of the things that I've picked up is, we said in the first episode, never give up. If it's that application that you want to apply for, go for it, right?
Yep.
Do your research though. Before you come to any school here, do your research. See what weather is out there.
Yeah.
But I think if they call you, you wouldn't mind about the weather. Just come, right? It's hard to settle, but we're keeping on, right? It's harder for everybody. And then one thing that I really want to emphasize with you guys is stick together. You know, those student unions that, if they're there, just stick together. Call each other. Do your assignments together, you know? To interact with each other. It's a lonely world out here. And watch for your mental health. You know, your story, your journey. I hope that you're doing better.
I'm doing okay.
And that's good. And then the awareness of the resources that are available to you.
Yep.
You know, write emails, call, ask around, do this, call me. I'll Google something for you. There's something out there for you guys. Self-care. Yep. Last but not least, definitely not the least, is self-care. Find what works for you.
Yep.
If it's that record, I collect records. If it's that music, it's music that keeps you going. If it's riding that bike, if it's, whatever it is, playing in the snow, whatever that is, just find self-care and do it well. That's the only thing you need to do it well, is do your self-care and be very vigilant on it. But other than that, I think I'm so glad, and I'm sure Ezra, wherever he is glad that you guys came through, and I wish you all the best. Maybe we'll do this again. We'll check in couple months down the road, bring you guys over and see where you guys are. Right? It'll be summer, so
yeah, sure.
We can probably but I wish you all the best in your studies, and thank you for coming through. Shout out to Joven, who's not here with us, but he graciously gave up his seat for, these PhD people know each other. So he gave up his seat for one. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. You can go to YouTube, watch, subscribe. We're on Instagram at The Amazing Truth Podcast, Facebook, The Amazing Truth Podcast, YouTube also with the same name. We're trying to get a few subscribers here so we can support other courses as well. So if you can shout out, subscribe. You guys, you owe me 10 subscribers each. So you got to go make friends. That's an assignment. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. That was our episode, part 2 of The Diary of an International Student, and we're glad that you're able to join us. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Amazing Truth Podcast. We hope you were blessed as you listened. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. God bless you, and see you on the next one.